Hello, my name is Thomas Weinmann. I was an intern at Borgata's Buffet. The buffet has three levels of employees, servers, hostesses, and stockers. As an intern, I was a supervisor, so I overseed all of them. This is an example of a server schedule. We had 55 servers, usually 15 to 22 servers on a shift. I'm not responsible for creating the schedule. I am responsible for ensuring any switches that happen to make sure that they are by seniority and that nobody is getting overtime that doesn't need to. We also have the hostesses here. Each of the hostesses, we have 13, usually about 5 to 6 on a shift. And there's three different kinds of hostesses that change each day. Each hostess gets to be each kind. There's a captain, which is responsible for taking receipts from guests who've already paid and passing them on to a section host, and the section host is responsible for seating them. The captain makes sure each side of the room is equal, and then we have line control. They're in the front of the room, making sure that each guest comes in and gets in the correct line based on their tier. Then we have stockers. There's 4 stockers a shift, 2 on each side. They just ensure that the server has everything that they need to satisfy the guest. Again, I'm only responsible for switches to make sure it's based on seniority and um, so that nobody gets overtime. Something I am responsible for, though, however, is the floor chart. This is an example. There's 15 servers on the left there, with one being the breaker. The breaker goes around, asks all the server if they want to break, and then by the end they get their own section. Then we have the hostesses. We only had 5 that day because it was slow, so line control is empty. But if line control were to happen, that's where I would step in and go act as line control to help them out. And then we have the 4 stockers. In the bottom right, you can see a kind of layout of the room. Pink, blue, green, yellow, those are the 4 hostesses, the section hostess. And then in the top right, you can see hotel occupancy, the ins and the outs. These help us kind of plan for the day, see if I'm going to be able to let people go early, stuff like that, as well as the promotions for the day. If there's a show going on and more people are going to leave, then I can let somebody go because it's going to slow down. So we have that on the chart so that everybody knows about it. This is my desktop. On the left, you can see a white box with a blue circle. That's Chronos. That's only used for if somebody misses their clock in or something like that. I can go back in and adjust their times or pay to make sure their paycheck is correct. Below that, we have a black circle with the red chili pepper. That's hot sauce. That's what we use to contact facilities to say if anything's broken in a buffet, if anything needs to be fixed, the level of urgency, so they know to either get there really quick or do it when we're closed. Then we have Google Chrome. That's really I only use that for Avero. Avero is the reports I do on the day, how many people we had, how many servers we had, if I let anybody go early, or if there was some major issue that needed to be reported and that everybody should know about. The 2 yellow boxes, these are like the buffet site and the food and beverage site and the Borgata site, and these are to tell me the ins and the outs and the percentage, as well as the shows and stuff like that, what's going on, if anything changed from the monthly marketing calendar. So as a supervisor, my main task, besides making sure all the employees have everything to do to fulfill their duties, is to handle guest complaints. Here's a photo of basically my tools that I can use, my whole tool belt. So on the left is a card that you see in Genesis. This is so I can void somebody's drinks or void somebody's buffet if they came in, they realized they didn't want to eat anything. Something simple like that that'll satisfy them shortly. The next thing in the middle, that's a customer relationship certificate. What that does is if somebody comes, finds something in their food, or felt that they were rudely treated, or just something went on that really made their meal ruined, I can give them a certificate for anywhere between like $40 to $80. I can kind of write whatever price I feel is necessary, and then go spend it at any food and beverage outlet. I sign it, they sign it, and then I write a report on it. And then on the right, these are small certificates, much less than the ones in the middle. These are just like $10 or a free drink. These are something that if somebody had to wait a bit longer, or if something really small happened, then I can hand those out. I have never handed one of those out. I only really do the ones in the middle, because those are the things that I feel if somebody's really having a problem, that's when I'll give it to them. And also, it's a better gesture, it brings them back to the buffet. It makes them a recurring customer, and that's the main goal. Now, just to give you an overview of the buffet, this is the front. You enter on the right, you leave on the left. And once you enter, you get into 3 lines. That's where line control plays in. Either sapphire, pearl, and everything below. There's just regular cash guests. They have the longest line to wait in. Then there's gold members. They have a shorter line. And then platinum and noir, they get straight to the cashier, and they go straight to the front. Platinum and noir usually get seated immediately. This is just another picture of the line. So the line does get very long. Big thing that I do is I go into the line, I talk to the guests, trying to almost distract them from how long they're waiting so they don't cause any problems or any issues. After that line, you do get on another line, which is very bothersome. And you can see the ropes on the right and everything. It gets divided into 4 parts. So there's the sapphire, pearl, stuff like that, gold, and then platinum and noir lines. Platinum and noir gets brought to the front to the captain. They give them a receipt. The captain gives it to the hostess, and they walk them to their seat. This is also a big place where I go to talk to guests to distract them again. Then we have a seating area. This is just an example. We have table and booths. This is actually section 3, which a server doesn't get section 3. That's all pickup. So if like we're busier than normal and we need another seat, then the server would come and pick this up. The server comes. They say, "What can I get for you? Can I get you a drink?" Right. All of our drinks are located in the back stations, which I'm going to show you in a moment, and then we get all of our alcoholic beverages from the bar next door in the Metropolitan restaurant. So this is a back station. You can see our stalker Hector. He didn't really want to smile for the photo, but there he is. That has sodas, milks, coffee, tea, stuff like that on the right, and then we have all of our like ketchup, hot sauce, A1 sauce, Worcestershire sauce, all on the left. This is where they break down dishes by the garbage can and everything. And this is where they bring in new dishes and stuff like that, and refill the juices. This is the stockers. Really, stockers helping the servers back here. So the servers use this. This is the Angelis system. This is how they order their drinks, order their drinks. Actually, this is solely for drinks, and this is where I'd come to void something if somebody didn't like a drink or something like that. Just to give you more overview, this is where I can like give a guest, I can charge something to satisfaction, so a guest, so I don't void it in the sense that it goes to waste, but it's like we gave it to them to make them happy, because that goes into the reports later. This is a picture of the buffet. We have many food lines in the buffet. We have a salad line, pizza line, seafood line, fried line. We have a pork, like that's like the seasonal line. Then we have 2 action stations, right? Action stations are where there's a employee actually doing something for you. So ours is we have banana wrapped salmon, and they take the salmon out of the fish and give it to you. Or we have prime rib, where they cut you off a slice of prime rib and give it to you. This is the desserts. The desserts are delicious. Gelato, tiramisu, borgata bread pudding, cookies, delicious stuff. Everybody really likes it. It's a big, big hit. Now here's the marketing calendar. This is something I can get from one of those yellow boxes I showed you on my desktop before. Very beneficial, helps us with forecasting, helps us let us know like, oh, if there's a show at 8, then it's probably going to die down at 8, and then I can let people go. Very important. We get this every Friday, a little updated version at the food and beverage meeting. This is forecasting. They have the current shows right next to last year's shows with the numbers right next to each other, so you can kind of understand that like, oh, if a really popular actor was here and we were slammed, and a less popular actor is here, then we're not going to be as slammed. Helpful for that. I am not responsible for that, but I am responsible for looking at that and determining whether I'm going to need all the servers that day or whether we should really get them going right away because we're about to get hit real hard. This is my Nextel. Just a piece of technology I use. I can call EVS security, stewarding. I use this phone, and this is what other people use to contact me, like the hostesses and stuff like that. I don't use it very often. It's more or less to call for security or stewarding if an emergency arises. And then finally, I wanted to bring you to Chronos. This is where people clock in and clock out. I figured this was a good way to end my video because I'm basically clocking out. Thank you very much, and come visit the buffet.